the most electric player, in my opinion, in this portal slash JUCO slash high school, you name it, is officially going to play in 2025. Get ready for Cyncir Bowers.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. Welcome into Locked On West Virginia, baby. It is time to talk some more football as usual around here. And we know we got baseball going on. We got a lot going on right now, but there may not be a bigger thing that nobody knows how big it is that's bigger than the situation surrounding Cyncir Bowers right now. Let me explain a little bit. So, most of you know he committed to West Virginia a few months ago, the number one JUCO running back in the country. But what you may not know is there was a real chance that he wasn't going to play this year. As a matter of fact, that was the plan as the last time I talked to him and people around him. So, there was a real conversation about him playing JUCO ball for this year to try to raise his stock or just get another year in. And that seemed to be the direction this thing was heading until the jersey numbers came out and I saw his name on there. I started doing some research, and this kid's going to play here in 2025. I don't know if I've officially gone on record and said this yet, but I will now. Before we do that, this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by FanDuel. If you didn't know, right now, FanDuel is doing it pretty big. $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Make sure you head over to FanDuel today to get started. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we talk about your team every single day. Cyncir Bowers, guys. So to explain, like I said, whenever he committed a few months ago, I was very excited about it after watching his tape, and I've studied every single ounce of tape that he has. In my opinion, you might be able to throw I'll give you Coates and Robinson. Outside of that, in my opinion, there may not be a more impactful signing than Cyncir Bowers. He's a 4.3 kid that's elusive, he's similar to a Tavon Austin, right? He's not Tavon. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's his skill set. He can kick off return. He can punt return. He can split the safeties at any given moment. He can bounce his head off the goalpost at any given moment. I'm going to show you the tape. You know I always do. He's extremely elusive. He does not get tackled. He's extremely strong for his size. He's an incredible receiver out of the backfield. And like I said, there are some people in the industry that had him rated as a 5-star pickup for West Virginia. I know not everybody believes that some of those people are as legitimate as other people do, whatever. The eyes don't lie in this situation. And we're going to talk about Cyncir Bowers a lot more here. You can say Knighton over Bowers, but you'd be wrong for sure. 100% wrong. Cyncir Bowers isn't coming off a season-ending knee surgery that he's never really fully recovered from. Unfortunately, Jalen Knighton has not recovered 100% from that. All right, so getting into it, obviously talking about Bowers and what he's done in his JUCO career. 5'10", 184 pounds, rated the number one JUCO running back, right? He was rated that for a reason. You look at what he did at Iowa Western in 2024, 1,200 yards on 185 carries. It's almost 7 yards per carry, 14 touchdowns. He's not just a runner. He's also had 22 catches, 310 yards, 3 touchdowns. Oh, and let's not forget that he had a 100-yard kickoff for a touchdown, several really close to being broken besides that. First team ICC AC all-conference list, and it's pretty easy to see why. He had Florida State coming after him. West Virginia was able to get him for, whatever they did to do to get him. We're glad to say that. If you look at what scouts and rivals are saying, look at what 247 and rivals are both saying. Here's what 247 said. Bowers is a dynamic playmaker, human highlight reel with elite speed and vision, can turn a small crease into a 60-yard touchdown. That's 247. And then on rivals, you look, they praise his lateral quickness and said he makes defenders miss in space Probably will need to bulk up a little bit at the power forward level because he's at 104 pounds to handle the physicality of Big 12 defenses. But he has versatility as a runner, receiver, and returner, which makes him a 3-down threat. They want to see him improve his pass blocking consistency at the next level. And on the coaching side, Rich Rodriguez said, Cyncir brings a spark we need. He's got that burst and playmaking ability that fits perfectly in our spread offense. If you look at what Iowa Western's head coach, Scott Stonemeyer, said, raved about him, said he's a special talent, the most special talent I've ever coached in my career, and I've coached dozens and dozens of Division I talent. He's got the speed to outrun anyone. I don't care what level you're talking about, and the heart to fight for every yard. High praise all around here, right? And I haven't even talking about what I believe yet. And I don't care who doesn't like it, honestly. Like, I go to bat for these kids because I believe in them, because I believe they'll have an impact. And if they don't, I absolutely stand up and say I was wrong. This is what this is all about. It's for fun, right? Like, this is what makes sports such a fun conversation to have, being passionate about something in life instead of just being dull all the time. Screw that, you know? So let's get to the tape, right? You know, I love the tape. So I tried to get some new stuff because I played Cyncir Bowers, I think twice now on the show. And I'm going to play this one here, the first one, and then I'm going to move to another one. Let's watch him Cyncir Bowers and see exactly why he is as gifted as he is, or in my opinion, anyway. Got to turn the music off for this one, unfortunately. This very first play, you'll see immediately why people say he's so elusive. He's such a great cutter in and out, right? And he's got great vision and he's got great speed to get in and outside. Here he is on another play. He stumbles, doesn't matter. Once he gets into the open field, he's definitely gone. You can see he gets on a horse and goes. He's just such an incredible athlete, man. Here he is on kickoff return. And as you can see at this angle especially, you can see just how much speed he is. There he is hurdling somebody mid run, just incredible. Here he is on another run where he's just making people miss left and right. You know, it's just what he does, man. And can you imagine a kid like this in Rich Rod's spread offense where he can be, you know, I don't know if he'll play running back. I don't know what he'll do because I consider him an athlete personally, although he plays a lot of running back, and I'm sure he'll play there. But I think of him like a Darius Raynaud. You remember how awesome it was to flip the reverse to Raynaud? It was like a touchdown. It was a 20-yard gain or it was a touchdown a lot, right? When he was at West Virginia. He's similar to Darius Raynaud. He's faster. But as far as that juke ability, that cut ability that Raynaud had, this is what Cyncir Bowers can do, right? And I personally think he's going to have a great shot to be in the top 3 rotation first year. He's got 3 years left. That's the thing. A lot of people don't, you know, even if he doesn't impact this year that much, there's still going to be 2 years left beyond that for this kid to make an impact. And here he is again. You can see some of his practices. This is at JUCO. So, you know, take that for what you will. But this is one of the better JUCOs in the country here at Iowa Central. So they do a pretty good job there. So here he is on this first play. I believe this is just in practice, though. And you can see how he's able to just get outside, make moves, do different things, cuts, and the whole thing. And then once he gets in the open field, you see it's over with. He's just so good cutting left to right, laterally, very quick. So love that run there. Here he is again on another play inside, and just the cut ability. There it is again. You see, as soon as, I mean, you know, this is obviously similar to a counter play, but his ability to cut on a dime like this is what makes him gifted on another level than some other kids we may have in our room right now. Jaheim's able to do this on some level as well, but not quite as shifty left and right. In my opinion, he's more of a, he does a little bit of everything, you know. Jaheim does everything well. But I think that Cyncir is just a touch faster. I'm not saying he's better. I'm just saying he's a touch faster. Certainly wouldn't say anybody's better than Jaheim necessarily, but this kid's going to have a chance to come in and make an impact on the offense very quickly. And his jersey number is 23, which we found out today, I believe, or at least I did. Maybe I'm a day behind on it. I'll have to go look, but this kid can play, man. I'm excited about him. I don't know. Here's another play, and just see how quickly he gets in and out of these cuts. That's, to me, is in a Rich Rod offense. You got to be able to do this. If you're just a straight ahead runner, kind of like a CJ Donaldson, you can do that too for sure. But to be able to cut in and out like this is so important as a running back. It just is. It gives you that extra element. It's like the kid at Pitt. What's his last name? Reed, I think it is. Reed, maybe. Somebody might. I can't remember his name, but the little running back they have that is so dangerous. Their entire game plan against us was they would run 4 wide down the field, and then he would flood out, and they would just flip it to him, and then he would make the linebacker miss, and they got first down after first down like that. And sometimes that's just what it is. You got a player like that. So, and here's Cyncir Bowers in actual game. You can see he's able to dance his way through this hole. 1 cut, 2 cut, 3 cut, and gone. Outruns everybody to the end zone. So that's what makes him, in my opinion, the most dangerous, is that he can get to the end zone no matter where he's at on the field. It's just what I love the most about him, man. He's going to be a problem for us. And watch on the route. And the thing is, he's got a route tree as well. There's some film out there of him just running routes. He looks like a slot receiver, like he really does. Actually, here's a great play right here. I think it's either this one or the next one. Okay, so it's the next one. Here he goes. He splits the safeties. Gone. Not even anybody close to being around him. On this next play, he comes out of motion, same formation. And no, I'm sorry, he doesn't. This is the kick return. So this is very similar to the one Tavon had against K-State, as far as how it looks. It's not obviously the same talent level, but cuts up the field, 100-yard return. So it's just so many different things you can do with him. It's going to be so fun to see how they get him the ball, because I think once he gets into camp and gets acclimated, he's going to start getting the ball. Here he is. This is the play. So he goes in motion, and watch the move he puts on the backer here. It's absolutely filthy, this move. Gone. I don't even think he knew the ball was coming to him, but that cut right there, he wasn't. It's like that meme, and this is the moment he knew he effed up. Gone, trying to reach for him. He's gone. So, for me, guys, I wanted to promote this today because, number one, it just isn't a ton of other things going on right now. Desmond Reed, that's right. Thank you very much. So, there's not a ton other going on. There's the baseball game, which I plan on getting to later or tomorrow. Obviously, tomorrow is the game. But yeah, like I said, man, this kid is going to be special for us this year, because I was just under the impression that he wasn't coming till next year. That's just what I was told by somebody that he was close to, or and that also that evaluated him and all this. So I guess I took that for what it was at the time. And so this was a big surprise to me today to see him get the jersey number and everything. And it's also exciting for me because I just didn't think we were going to have him this year. I thought, and here's the other thing, we had Florida State coming after him and all this. I thought for sure if he stayed another year in JUCO that he would get some huge offers. And that's almost what they did, because they knew he came on so strong at the end, became number 1 JUCO running back and all that. But it was late, and I think a lot of teams had already signed a bunch of players. So anyways, Cyncir Bowers, man, I've got my name staked on him, as you guys see here. So if I come back to this video or these comments, I just want a little bit of credit, okay? I'm not saying that it's easy to see, in my opinion, that he's very, very talented. But there are going to be people that say, duh, it was obvious or something. But I don't think it's as obvious as with who we have in our running back room. If he breaks out this year, I'm going to come back and talk about it. So we'll see what happens there. Could be wrong as well, and I'll come back and talk about that if I am. Other than that, guys, let's go to break. And what we'll do is we've got a bunch of new jersey numbers that have been given out. And I want to talk about the players that have been spoken about here. There's one player missing on this list that should have been here, and it's a big one. And I've been told that maybe not coming. I don't know what the heck's going on, but we'll talk about it next. Stick around. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by FanDuel, guys. And we talk about FanDuel around here because we know we love it. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot, a breakout player, or whatever, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. And look, FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. Player props, performance trends, same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. And which players are showing up for you in the biggest moments, and how can tracking their trends help you build your next bet? How can a $200 in bonus bets add to the excitement of your first $5 bet if it hits? Well, if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head over to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. And if you win, you get $200 in bonus bets. Do it today and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Segment 2, let's crack a do and talk a little bit about these jersey numbers, man. You know, oh, that's a good do. That's pretty good dooski right there. All right, so West Virginia's let some roster numbers out of who players are, what numbers they're going to wear, etc. And nothing groundbreaking here, no crazy numbers, nothing. No, I don't see number 69 or anything like that. You know, you always look for that one first, I feel like. Or maybe that's just my immature brain. But I do want to talk about who's on the list, and it's, you know, it's not anything major, mind-blowing, but there are some good players on the list. And I just want to talk about them since they're in the, you know, they're in some articles and things, so we might as well talk about them. I'm going to make a best of who these people are list, or at least my opinion. And then I'm going to talk about who's not on the list, because the last player of before the spring period we signed was Jeff Weimer. And I haven't seen him. He wasn't in spring, right? Then, so I was expecting him to come along now, but he's not here. I've reached out, talked to people. Nobody knows why, but he's not here. That's a huge, huge, huge loss if we miss out on Weimer. He's got production at the Division I level, was on pace to catch about 60 or 70 balls at UNLV before he got hurt. He caught 70 balls or whatever it was last year for over 1,200 yards at Idaho State. I mean, I get it, but I mean, if you watch the guy, he's very talented. And I really thought maybe Logan Ramper was his replacement. I don't know. They're very similar players in like what position they play. They're different in how they play the game, but they're, you know, basically same. If you're in the receiver room, I think they play the same position. So anyway, the roster numbers have come out for West Virginia, and so let's share screen with you guys and show you exactly what is who and who is what. So this is the list. This is the list here. As we move through, you've got Malik Agbo, Josh Isosa, Grayson Barnes, Ben Bogle, Cyncir Bowers, baby. That was exciting for me, guys. That was so exciting for me to see this. You know, Aiden Bustle is another big one, in my opinion. Ty Crutcher, Devin Grant is a big one. Caleb Gray's a big one. Christian Hamilton, Donovan Haslam, Cade Hensley, who could end up being a real big one. Special teams are big. My boy Cannon Katzer, we've had him on the show. Eddie Kelly Jr., Jalen Knighton, big. Carson Lee, Darren Lewis, John Lewis. Look at the smirk John Lewis has got going on there. You got Jordan McCants, Logan Rapper, Elijah Simmons, Justin Smith-Brown, Nick Taylor, Ryan Ward. So, jersey numbers for these guys. All right, so we've got Eddie Kelly Jr. with number 1. Senior, 6'5", 286. Justin Smith-Brown will be number 11. 5'11", 184 senior. John Lewis will be number 12. 6'2", 244 senior. Ty Crutcher, 5'8", 175, much smaller than I realized. Number 16. Number 17 is Christian Hamilton, 5'11", 189. 18 is Logan Ramper, 6'2", 216. 19, Nick Taylor, sophomore, 6'1", 184. Jalen Knighton is number 22, 5'10", 185. Cyncir Bowers is 23. I got to get me a number 23 jersey, 5'10", 191. Darren Lewis is 24, 5'9", 198. Cade Hensley, 25, 5'10", 190. Caleb Gray is number 28 at 6'1", 174. Cannon Katzer's number 30, 5'9", 189. Ben Bogle is 32, 6'1", 216. He's a redshirt junior. Carson Lee, my guy, number 55, 6'2", 327, senior. Donovan Haslam, 6'3", 341, junior, number 57. Josh Isosa, 6'4", 270, redshirt freshman, number 59. Malik Agbo, 6'4", 270, junior, number 65. 270. Both of them are, huh? Aiden Bustle, 6'5", 310 pounds, number 66. Grayson Barnes, 6'4", 222, senior, number 80. And Ryan Ward, 6'4", 243, redshirt freshman, number 84. Jordan McCants, 5'11", 173, redshirt junior, number 88. Devin Grant, 6'2", 267, senior, number 91. Elijah Simmons, 6 feet, 300-pound redshirt junior, and number 94. This is a who's list of transfers, obviously. Now, we've got other guys in, that came into the program, especially JUCO rank, other different things that aren't, some of them aren't on here, right? Like maybe they came in earlier or whatever. So this doesn't encompass everybody. But, guys, this is a hard list, like I was thinking earlier, who are the best players on this list? Well, let's go to break real quick. We'll come back and talk about it. Stick around. This is Locked On West Virginia. All right, guys, we are back here, Locked On West Virginia. I appreciate you for joining in. Yeah, he does have an Instagram story with him at West Virginia, but when was it? Because I've checked in with people in the media about it and everything, and then nobody knows. So, his profile says West Virginia. I'm not saying he's not coming. I'm saying that he's not here yet, or maybe he is if it's on Instagram. But people were saying that he wasn't here in the media. I don't know. I'll have to check on that, Jeremy. Certainly I can be corrected if I'm wrong about something, I'm not going to sit here and pretend, but he's not in any of these jersey numbers. He hasn't been named in any single thing. We didn't hear about him at all during the spring. So here's what I'm going to guess is he's probably here. It's probably just not official. And for whatever reason, they're working towards it. That's a good thing. That means that he still could be, right? So that's a good thing for me. Like I said, not trying to say he's not coming or anything. I'm just saying there's no, his jersey number hasn't been released or anything like that. So there's something to it, obviously, because I've been waiting. He's one of my guys, that I think is going to be really good. So I've been waiting on him kind of to see when he was going to enroll. I've been waiting for it, looking for it. Trust me, I have. Thank you, Mr. Barkbarkle. I knew you would appreciate it. Very impressive kid, Cyncir Bowers. So let's look at the best of the rest. Obviously, Cyncir Bowers is number one for me. No questions about it. But we're going to put him to the side because obviously this video was about him. And I told you guys, for those of you just joining, I was told that Cyncir Bowers was going to stay in JUCO for another year, stay committed to West Virginia. And it sounds like that's just not the case. Yeah, Jeremy, that's a good thing then if it was 23 hours ago. But I'm guessing that it's probably due to academics or something to do with his transfer. Maybe he needs a waiver or something like that because there's no official anything with him in it, like his jersey or anything like that. So we'll figure it out though. Like I said, I appreciate that clarification, Jeremy. Thank you. Um, Cyncir Bowers is going to be at West Virginia for this year. We found out, so that's huge news for me. I had resigned myself to the fate that what was going to happen is he's probably going to go back to JUCO and get picked up by a big time program. But Florida State was already wanting him. Like, there's already been other big names coming at him. I spoke to some other people that said there was even more that were trying to get him to, how they play with the books and do these fancy things. So that, like for instance, I think we have a player on this team that is, that was on scholarship that they've gotten to go on, basically, I'll pay for your school instead of scholarship, and it actually saves the school money, that kind of thing. Anyway, so there's all kinds of stuff these teams will try. Like, you can come here, even, and it might be a better opportunity or a bigger school anyway, but it's like kind of sketchy, like what you're wanting them to do, kind of stuff. So, anyway, let's get off of that. All right, so let's talk about the best of the rest here, man. We've been talking about it for like 5 minutes now, so let's get to it. Let's go back to the beginning. So, nice list of players here. We've got Malik Agbo, Josh Isosa, Grayson Barnes, Ben Bogle, Cyncir Bowers, Aiden Bussell. I like this entire list here. I really like. If you're making me pick one guy besides Cyncir Bowers on this list, God, it's hard for me. I'll probably lean towards, oh God, it's so hard for me to pick between Ben Bogle and Aiden Bussell. These are like literally two of my top 5, but so I'm gonna just pick them both. I'll say Aiden Bussell number 2. I've grown. He's growing on me more and more and more as I've gotten that Tennessee tape in from him. And then Ben Bogle, obviously, who I think is going to contribute very, very highly at linebacker. And then when it comes to this offensive line, I really just don't know. It's to the point to where I think Agabo could be really good. I think he could be. I'm assuming they brought him in because he is, but I just need to hear more about. I don't understand why some of the guys in the first round didn't work out as well, like that we had for spring, because they added 5 or 6 offensive linemen after spring. Does that mean they all sucked, or they needed more bodies? They needed more competition? Were they not any good? Like, what about Bosley and those guys? Like, there's just so much uncertainty there that, like, and it's such a huge question mark. It's the number one question mark on the team, by the way, our offensive line. Is it even going to be any good? Did we get the right players in? I don't know. I think we got some good players in, but I don't know, I don't know how good they're going to be. Tyrance Crutcher, Devin Grant, Caleb Gray, Christian Hamilton, Donovan Haslam, and Kate Hensley. I like Christian Hamilton. I think he's got a chance to be good. I don't think it'll be this year. Donovan Haslam's a strong, strong player. I think he's got some technique to work on. Tyrance Crutcher, Devin Grant, Caleb Gray, Kate Hensley. So Devin Grant has done this at the Power 5 level before at Colorado. He got stats there, right? He actually had production at Colorado. So you have to consider him on any list and he is a good pass rusher. He's a good athlete. He can run. He's got size. He's got some, he's got a little bit of everything to him. You guys know I have a soft spot for Cannon Kasser. I do think that there's a world where he can contribute, but Cyncir Bowers, unfortunately, has come in and, Cyncir Bowers is just so talented. Eddie Kelly Jr. is on the list. I'll put him at number 3 for now. Now, after we look at the list, somebody may shuffle in here, but I really think Eddie Kelly Jr. is, he's played in the Power 5 at the SEC, at Missouri. And if you look at the tape on him, man, he is a strong dude against the run. Not exactly an elite pass rusher. He's like Sean Martin, right? Or guys like that we've had in the past who are good players. Like a lot of people would say Sean Martin was pretty damn good at West Virginia. But was he a great pass rusher at defensive end? No, he wasn't. He just wasn't. He was below average, really. But what he was good at was basically being an offensive lineman on defense, right? He would basically eat up blocks for the linebackers or safeties or whoever to plug holes. Like those guys you got to have. I think Eddie Kelly's a better version of that. A little bit better than Martin, in my opinion. And Martin was an all Big 12 player at times. I mean, he had a couple sacks throughout his career. It's not like he couldn't pass rush. I'm just saying he wasn't great at it, right? He wasn't a Bruce Irvin or or even a Jamori Robinson. So Jalen Knighton is another one that, if you look at what he did at SMU, it was good for sure. 700 and something yards, whatever it was, like 5 or 6 touchdowns. It was very good. Very good. At a Power 5 school, can't knock it at all. I just wonder if he's 1,000% recovered from what happened to him at Miami. If we get the Miami version of Jalen Knighton, then whoever told me earlier, you're right. Maybe he is better than Cyncir Bowers at that point. But I don't know. Are we getting some damaged goods or is he 100% back? I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I'm just saying I'll take Bowers over what he was at SMU. That's it. Carson Lee's on my list. And this is really in no order. I would have to think about the order. I would have to think about it. Carson Lee has 1,100 snaps in his career. He started in the spring at Mississippi State on the offensive line the entire spring and decided it wasn't for him, and then he left. So, he comes to West Virginia as a guy that was highly targeted. UCLA wanted him really, really bad. We were lucky to get him. It's weird that's how many of these that came down to us in a California school. The portal is so weird. You know how many players we went head to head with Cal for? It's actually so funny. Darren Lewis is on my list. I think you guys probably know that if you watched this show. I did a show about him being a 5-star transfer. A lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people. As a matter of fact, I got some screenshots from a group chat that said that I was hyping him up and using an account with only 400 followers to do it. That's true. BIP does only have 400 followers, but they have 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. So people don't always flesh things out when they open their mouth and run it. But yeah, BIP has it's called Buffalo in Prime or something like that. But it's a Colorado-based channel, but like they also have this thing where he played college football and in the NFL. And I'm supposed to believe that a guy sitting behind a desk at On3 who's never even watched Darren Lewis had him rated as a corner that had him rated 3 stars, knows more than a guy that played the position and said he's a 5-star player. Now, I'm not saying that I've said it the whole time. I'm not going to go 5 stars. That's really, really high. That's just such high praise. It's like, it's almost unrealistic expectations to put on somebody. But I do think that you can make a case for him to be a 4-star-ish player based on his tape there at Akron. It's very, very, very good. And I do think that he'll be a starter for us this year for sure. Let's stay tuned. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. This is a fun little list here. There's a couple guys on this list that I like. I'm almost to the point of just doing away with my list. There's too many players. There's just too many. Jordan McCants is somebody that I've told a lot of people like. He didn't have a lot of production at Jack State, but if you go to, where are we at on time here? Yeah, not much left. If you go to his tape over on X and stuff, you can see some routes that he runs. Like, he's very quick. He's got some route running ability. So maybe he makes an impact for us, down the line, especially. Justin Smith-Brown is a good player. He had a lot of production at South Carolina State. Can get down the field. He's big. He's 6 feet, 6'1", or whatever. I know he was listed at 6'1". And I think he's got a shot to be pretty good. I just don't know. Our room is deep in the wide receiver. We got 14 guys in there. I don't know if he's necessarily better than, let's say, Logan Ramper, who I really like, right? You guys know that. Like, it would be hard for me to keep him off my list if I were making one. He's 6'3". He can really run. He runs great routes. He's great at the point of attack as far as when a corner is trying to reroute him or dislodge him. He's good at he gets off, like his releases are really good. And man, he's big, so he boxes guys out. Nick Taylor is, very young and has a long way to go, but I think he started the last 7 games at App State last year, and they liked him enough to bring him in. So I'm going to keep my eye on him. I certainly think he's got some potential. There are people that will tell you Ryan Ward will be the second coming of one of the great tight ends at West Virginia, and then there are people that think that he was overrated and don't even know why we got him. I don't know where he is on this list, honestly. There isn't enough footage of him in college or at North Carolina to say. I'm sure if I got a hold of him or if he would respond, maybe that I could get that footage, but he seems to want to be more private as a person, which is fine. He doesn't have to respond to anybody. But, I do think that he's got the pedigree to be very good. I would like to see more. I haven't seen much tape on him. I could go back to high school, but I would like to see the college tape before I make that judgment. Elijah Simmons, we talked a lot about him on the channel. We've had an episode or 2 with him on it. He's so good, 6 feet, 300 pounds, and can pass rush, and is a defensive tackle. But he can play all 3 positions on the defensive line, really. But I mean, he can play nose, he can play on the end, like he can do it all. I think you'll see him in the rotation for sure. So he's a guy I really like. So to recap here, just overall my favorites, I threw Ogbo in there, like I said earlier, Bogle, Barnes, Bustle. I like Grayson Barnes a lot too. I mean, like I've told you guys multiple times, I've grown to like a lot of the players they went out and got in the portal, especially. This list here doesn't have very many guys on it that I would say are going to, that I think that because I haven't been able to see all the tape on every one of these guys. There's just not a lot out there. Like Kate Hensley could be amazing kicker. I just don't know. Haslam, maybe. I mean, Hamilton's got very limited tape. Crutcher's got some tape out there. So does Grant and Gray. But it's all highlights. So Grant's obviously got Power 4 production. So I do think he's got a shot. But everyone else on that list is subject to we have to see what happens in the summer. We talked about Lee. We love Lee. We love Kelly. Think Knighton could be really good if he's over that injury. And then Darren Lewis will be a starter, in my opinion, for sure. Logan Ramper, Elijah Simmons. Those are my guys on this list here. Justin Smith-Brown got a chance to be good. Taylor's got upside for sure. Ward has no tape, so it's just undecided. I don't know, is basically what I'm saying. McCants hasn't played very much. So I think, like I said in the past, if West Virginia hits on, let's say, how many guys do they bring in? 50, 55, whatever it is overall. If you hit on 12 of these guys, 15, you're in pretty good shape overall based on what you still have on the roster from last year. So, I don't know. I don't know if that's even a realistic number or maybe higher it should be. But overall, like I said, Cyncir Bowers would be the number 1 overall pick on my entire list outside of Robinson and Coates. That's everybody we brought in this offseason. And if, I just give some of these guys some grace. I'm sure some of these guys can end up being good. I'm not saying any one guy can't be. Like Isosa, he could be really good. I just don't know because there's not a lot of tape on him, right? So, and this is all on my personal evaluation. I never claim to be a professional or anything like that. These are all just my personal opinions based on playing the sport at the minuscule level that I did and watching it for my entire life and talking to people that know about it. And I think you can, even as somebody who maybe isn't like Mike Leach never played a down of football, but he learned the game, right? And he knew what good players looked like. Like, I think even the regular person can do that if you study it enough. So, it's just you got to put the work in. Like, this is no lie. I was here from, so I've got a new strategy, by the way. And this is something that I've been going to a motivational therapist to try to get over some things because I know I need to drop weight. I know to do some things in life. So here's what I've been doing lately. I've been breaking my days down into 3 days. I've only been able to do two so far, but there is a chance you could do three. If you wake up at 6 a.m. and work until 12, that's a day, right? And then you take about an hour off, and then you can work from 1 until 7. That's another day. And then if you take an hour off and then work from like 8 until 12 or something like that, or 8 until 1 p.m. Well, I know it sounds insane, but there are people that do this, like the high functioning people. And so if you break your day down into 3 days, that's 21 days a week. You do that over the course of a month, you're toasting people. You do that over the course of 6 months, people don't even look the same anymore that you used to know. And over the 5 years, you're so far out in the other stratosphere from them. Like, I'll kick your ass over the course of 6 months with the strategy like that. And so the mindset that I've taken into this is I get up at usually around 8 or 9, and I start researching for videos and things and topics that I want to do. And hopefully by around noon, I'll have something out. And then, the last 3 days I've been able to do that. Today I was not, unfortunately. But, I am going to get another video out today. Like, my goal is to at least produce 2 a day. They take so many hours for me to research and complete. A lot of times, one like this wasn't as much, but I had family stuff today. But, like familiarizing myself with the entire LSU baseball squad and the entire West Virginia baseball squad whenever I didn't even watch the first half of the season because of the portal and the madness that was going on was hard for me. So that's when I'm putting in a lot of work, and I'm hoping that it shows. At the end of the day, I just want you guys to enjoy the show, and I'm putting every ounce of energy I can into it that I have. Congrats to Cyncir Bowers for coming in, man. That excites me. By the way, I got invited from the county commissioner in Provo, Utah, to come down to Provo, tour Lavelle Edwards Stadium, eat at some of their higher end restaurants, paid everything to go down there with the guest. Isn't that crazy? I've heard good things about Provo. Are they going to try to convert me or what? Just wondering, but I think I'm going to accept it. So I was thinking I could bring somebody with me. Would that be something that I could raffle off, or, or am I asking for my own nightmare by even doing that? I don't know. Maybe it'd be crazy thought to take one of you guys with me or something just wild like that. But then watch, I'd get somebody that I absolutely end up hating or hates me. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Is that something you think would be funny or cool? Let me know we're on X if you're well, I know you're somebody watching on X because we got we got hundreds of people over on X watching this right now. So let me know in the comments. Would you be interested in that as some kind of giveaway or something? Let me know. All right, guys. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen. Being part of the Locked On Podcast Network, we talk about your team every single day. Do me a favor, though. Check out the Portal Report. They do an excellent job over there. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. And you can be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape, but you have to go and find the portal on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one, and we'll talk about this later. Thank you, Michelle. Have a great evening, guys. And I'm going to come back here in a couple hours and do something else. Maybe it'll be baseball. We'll figure it out. I'll see you then.